Okay.
Just yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the introduction to cybersecurity series. Tonight, just before I go on, I'm going to introduce myself. Um, my name is Patricia Emmanuel. I'm an IT security professional. I'm a consultant and mentor as well. I specialize in secure software development and security assurance. And in this class tonight, I want to make sure that we are all able to journey together in this training, because this session is designed to spark your curiosity and open your eyes to what is possible in this space. So whether you are here with a background in tech or not, or you're just still trying to find your fit in the industry, I would say in this field, there's something for you. And what are we learning today? We want to learn the foundation of IT security and how it evolves into cybersecurity, because that's where it all starts from. Also, we'll begin by laying a strong foundation to understand what IT security is. Then we will unpack the relationship between cybersecurity and information security. We'll also dive into the critical domains in cybersecurity based on CISSP, the Certified Information Systems Security Professional. That's the globally recognized certification offered by ISC2, and it's one of the most respected credentials in the field of cybersecurity. We would also uh, explore the importance of the CIA triad, walk through real world threats, and finally, we'll zero in on the SOC analyst role. So by the end, you'll see how your skills can fit into the field and why you are needed in the cybersecurity field. So, um, moving on, moving on. First, what is IT security? If you, uh, if you, if you step out of your house, for example, say you are going somewhere, you would lock your doors, you would install, or maybe you have an alarm installed, or I know some people even had CCTV installed. All of that is cyber IT security. And what you've done is that you're protecting your digital space with systems and devices. Well, you're protecting your digital space, you're protecting your systems, you're protecting your devices from any harm. That is what I can liken that to. In your future workplace, what IT security does is that it ensures that no one gets into your digital space at the workplace. So your digital space at the workplace would be your laptop, the server, the network. So all kinds of security infrastructures are put in place to safeguard and protect the organization from any form of attack. All right, so what is the difference between cybersecurity and information security? A lot of people get confused um, with these two terms. So both both have they have similar tasks. They are both protecting. Okay, so cybersecurity. I'm just going to cybersecurity protects the system, protects the network, anything on the internet. That is what cybersecurity protects. Now, anything on the internet, you count them as digital. Okay, so you count them as digital, and you're also protecting them from attacks that can come from any source on the web. And information security covers every aspect, whether it's your data or digital or physical assets, because every organization has their assets and they have there's a call to protect all these assets. It's a duty for every organization to protect all their assets. Otherwise, they would lose clients, they would lose their reputations, they would lose businesses, eh, and a lot of things can be impacted. They will lose money as well. Nobody sets up an organization to lose money. They want to make profit, of course, and if any of their systems are attacked and they are not able to remediate that, they are not able to fix that. Uh, for example, in the financial services, they could be fined, and if they get those sort of heavy fines because of a ransomware attack, for example, they may not be able to recover from it. Number one, the confidence the clients have in them, in that organization, diminishes, and it will take them a long time to be able to pick themselves up. So that is why organizations need to protect all forms of assets, whether it's physical assets, digital assets, or data, their network, their systems, programs, softwares. They have that duty to protect those assets. And you can see that there's an overlap of cybersecurity with information security. So cybersecurity is a subset of information security. That's the summary. And I really would like that we understand that. Okay. So in visually, I tried as much as possible when I was working on this slide. I wanted us to have that visual information in our minds. So um, we always have that to be able to explain security to people who really don't understand where the security concept has emanated from. So that is IT security. It's the overarching umbrella that ensures the safety and integrity of all our data and systems. And you can see we have cybersecurity and information security right there. So uh, cybersecurity fully protects our digital assets over the net, over the internet. And information security is the broader domain, is the mother of, you know, the mother that covers the cybersecurity space. It's that domain is broader and it covers digital, physical data, and the protection is from who or what? It's from unauthorized access to information, confidential information, sensitive information, alteration to information when data is being sent from one place to the other, and availability of information. If my information is on a banking system app, I have my money with that particular organization, with the app. I have my money saved in the bank and I'm unable to access it. Of course, that is going to be a breach of customer trust because I expect that every time I get onto the app, I can log in and view my information that is availability. And that is how the journey of the CIA triad, that is where that has come into place. So when you one of the things when I was bringing this, I said, okay, we have the CIA triad, and you want it to be a concept within information security that covers everything around security, whether is the protection of your digital assets or data. It's like the Holy Trinity, for example, the Holy Trinity of security. So that was what I was thinking, if you understand the concept of Trinity, so that is what this is around information securities. If you think of to explain this further, if you think of confidentiality, a simple example uh, is your email password. Only you should know your email, the password to your email. So confidentiality ensures that sensitive information is accessible only to authorized individuals because that email belongs to you. Integrity, if you can imagine that you sent, say, an invoice of £1,000 and someone modifies that invoice to £10,000, of course, that is not right. Uh, there's been an unauthorized modification, and that is a total breach of integrity of that particular data. The integrity ensures that the data is accurate from the source to the destination and back, unless some sort of authorized instruction has been given for some work to be done on that data. So protecting data from unauthorized modification, ensuring that when you retrieve that data from the source of the data, or the data is being sent from one source to the other, nothing has been tampered with. So that is what integrity satisfies. Then availability, I've given an example earlier. I talked about me having access to my banking app, so I'm able to access my bank account information. The systems are available, they are accessible, and as an authorized user of that banking app, I'm able to access that whenever I need to. Now, I'm sure we're familiar with some domains in cybersecurity, and there are quite a number of them. One of the one of the important ones that, without this security in place, every other thing you want to do will not work, and that is the network. So this forms the architectural part of whatever systems are being put in place. All right. So you want to secure the communication between networks, that is the internet. You want to secure communication as well within network. At our workplaces, I'm sure you have the intranet, and that is the network within the organization. So some sort of configuration happens happens by the network security guys to ensure that only authorized users are granted access to specific data. So within the network, any user from outside of a particular network will not be able to access the intranet, for example. So we also have the cloud security. So the cloud, when I say cloud, I don't mean the cloud up in the air what we can touch. The cloud is uh, the concept of cloud is about storage of data in data centers that are located in different places all over the world. So, and it's important that the cloud is also secure. Every data and information that goes across the network are stored in different cloud locations. It's important that all of these are secured in um, through different access management and configurations that happens in the cloud within cloud services. There are different types of services in the cloud, and we we all use all these different services, even though we may not understand, them if we are not too technical, but we are not going into those details. We have platform as a service, software as a service, and all that. And we have different sort of types of techniques that are employed, that are used in the protection of the cloud, of the information in the cloud, different encryption techniques, and all of those concepts or security techniques that can be applied. And we also have application security. Um, I'm really, really very vast in this area. My background is within software development and testing. So any kind of testing that happens within a software, especially non-functional testing, and that is where the security, the testing and validation of security is done. So this particular domain in cybersecurity protects the software applications. It identifies vulnerabilities, any sort of weakness in code, any sort of weak point in the architecture that's been put together in producing a software application. It ensures that developers they make use of secure coding practices. They use all the tools available, the very good tools available out there. SonarQube, there are loads of them. They make all they make use of all these tools to ensure that uh, their codes are their codes are secure, and they've applied the best security practices in their coding. Now we have the endpoint security. So this covers every area because all our every area across devices that we use, all our devices, my device, the device that I'm using right now, my laptop, it has an endpoint. Your mobile phone, every of these devices, they have endpoints, and attacks come in through these endpoints. All right, and the security that is applied here, um, it's applied to all the devices, any device that you can ever think of. So the there's some integration that happens between devices. Um, of course, they are not visible to us, if you get what I mean. That is why I'm able to send an information from my mobile phone, and you can get it on your mobile phone. I'm able to transmit from my laptop, and you are able to receive that information as well. So that is another of a domain in cybersecurity. And we also have the identity and access management. Now, if you've ever had to, you know, request for access to a particular application at your workplace, this is the domain where that falls into, because you are requesting for a particular access based on your role, and um, the analyst at the other end who is going to sort out your access, grant you the access. Of course, there will always be a process. Your line manager approves the request and it goes to whoever is going to implement the access for you. So this is another domain in cybersecurity that ensures that only authorized people can access certain information or systems. So you are only going to be granted access according to the need it's in your role. Okay. So we can move on from there to another domain quickly. And we also have the incident response and forensics. So this area touches on the ability of the security analyst to detect and respond to cybersecurity incidents. A day is never the same for a cybersecurity analyst. That it's possible there's no incident today, and it's possible tomorrow you come in, there's an incident. Some Someone whose role is to respond to incidents would do that within this domain. And there are processes to responding to incidents as well. It's usually a laid out, like a follow through run book or playbook. And of course, you have to follow the process. That's one of the things you also need to understand. There's always a process to follow. Um, any diversion from the process can cause a further delay in what needs to be done if an incident happens. So we've touched on domains in cybersecurity generally. I want to be able to align these domains according to uh, the common book of knowledge within the CISSP. We have the security and risk management. We have asset security. All all the organizations asset. This security and risk management. This is where you're looking at policies. You're looking at risk, the organization's security posture. asset security, you're looking at um, all the data, everything, data devices, server, all of these are assets. You're the identifying the critical assets, the level of criticality of each asset in the organization. We also have security architecture and engineering. So this covers every everything that is every piece of network or infrastructure, I would say, that is being put together, frameworks, you know, that needs to be put together in an organization. And we also have the communication and network security, systems interaction, um, communication as well within security teams, across other teams um, in the IT department, uh, communication across the communication with the business as well, and also network security. Then we have the identity and access management. We have security assessment and testing. I've done a lot of this. And we have security operations, which is why we are here, because the security operations center analyst, the SOC analyst, falls role falls within the security operations. Then we have the software development security, yeah, which is an area that focuses on secure software development. So if you are looking into writing this particular certification, yeah, there's a certification exam that you can write. In fact, most CISOs, um, they would usually write this exam, and then it qualifies them to be CISOs. So, uh, yeah, I, so going back to the CIA triad, you you can see that we have kind of covered what needs to be covered around the examples that you can get from from protecting your digital assets, from protecting your data, and also from making sure that your data is not altered at source or in transition, and also ensuring that information and systems, whenever they are needed by the authorized users, they are accessible. Now we have some common cybersecurity concepts. I'm sure you would be familiar with some of them. Yes, these are common buzzwords that you would always find. And of course, you don't really need to be a cybersecurity professional to know about any of these, but you your interests, the interest that you built would have given you the opportunity to understand some of this. So you would always hear, oh, there's a threat. Uh, you hear threats, you hear about vulnerabilities, you hear about risk. So anything that can cause um, that can cause a harm, you know, is a threat. Vulnerabilities are weaknesses, all right? If a software is outdated, it's a weakness, it's a vulnerability. Um, a hacker is a threat, right? And the likelihood that an incident leading to loss, you know, could happen, an incident leading to potential damage could happen from a threat who has exploited a vulnerability. So I'm trying to pick my words because those three are related. So there's a potential or likelihood of a damage from a threat exploiting a vulnerability. So for a threat to happen, a vulnerability exists, all right? And that creates a risk. I hope that is quite clear. Yeah. Then you also hear about malware, ransomware, phishing, all those social engineering attacks that happen. You know, all of these are also common concepts that you would um, hear around uh, within the cybersecurity organization, within that space, within that community where you are. The ransomware, so the hackers would usually request they get into your system because they were able to exploit a vulnerability. If, for example, you don't have any protection on your system, and there's a vulnerability somewhere, and the hacker has been able to get into your system, it's possible for them to download your data, start to extract information from your data, and also make that system inaccessible to you. And what they do is that they will ask you to pay them. You pay them huge sum of money. Otherwise, your data is at risk. And of course, they do that to big organizations. And I think recently one of our mentors there was sharing with me um, our experience with uh, uh, an attack on her son's laptop and the processes that she took to ensure that that doesn't spread across the network in the house. So those are other concepts that you would always hear about. Malware is a malicious software. When you have a malicious software, a software, it, say for example, you've downloaded, um, you've clicked on a file, you've downloaded an executable file, the malicious, it's containing some malicious code, so into your system, and that can do create all forms of harm on your system. So you can you would probably find a way to fix that because you're getting errors or you're not able to access some files. And the same thing goes for phishing emails. When you get those emails that look really familiar, saying an example would be your parcel is waiting, and you're like, well, did I order for something? And you're just curious to know. We all get all those kind of emails in our personal inboxes. And of course, firewalls, this filters network, and we have encryption, access control. When your data is being, when you're sending data from one source to the other, your data is encrypted. It doesn't just it's not delivered to the destination. It is encrypted along the way before it gets to the destination in a readable format. So encryption causes that data to be in a form in an unreadable format. with different characters and all of that. It's you algorithms and everything that you could think or imagine that would that can be used. So there are different processes that happen in the transfer of data. So that is a concept that you would hear regularly, and access control as well. Your access is also managed. Um, you access you can you as a user, you're only allowed to access information that is relevant to what you need to do. Then we have the zero trust architecture. You would always hear that. And what this means is that uh, it's the zero trust is a security model that assumes that no user or device is trusted by default. Uh, uh, it's just do not trust any user or device. Do your investigations. Okay, don't get too familiar. Just do your investigation, even if it's within the organization's network. What it does, what that concept also ensures is that there's a strict identity verification that happens there. The concept of least privilege access and continuous monitoring, that also you would always find that because you are the mindset as a security analyst, verify, verify, verify. Do not trust any system. Do not trust any device. Okay. All the checks that needs to be done, make sure you do them. It's just like this is the process. Don't go outside the process of, you know, ensuring that security checks are done. And we also have incident response and recovery. When an incident happens and a SOC analyst um, uh, goes through the process of triaging and, escalating that, um, the the incident response happens um, happens in the team. The incident responder, takes that on. We're going to get to that when we're talking about the SOC analyst role. And of course, after the incident has been dealt with, some sort of recovery has to happen as well. So all of those processes, concepts that you would hear often in the industry. They are just the really, really familiar ones. And of course, who can be a cybersecurity professional? You don't need a background in IT. Uh, um, if you are teachable, you do need a background in IT, and you don't if you are teachable. If you are teachable, because I have met people who never had anything to do with IT, and they are cybersecurity professionals today. And they've only opened themselves up to learning. It's good if you have a background in IT, but it's not like if you don't have it, you can't be in the industry. No, you must be really analytic and critical in your thinking. You must be a problem solver. And like I said earlier, if you're teachable and you're passionate about learning and staying ahead of threats, and by staying ahead of threats, what does that mean? You are conscious about security itself personally to you. So you can be a cybersecurity professional. You can fly as high as you want in this industry. It all depends on how much you want it. Then when you think about the skills or the interests that are required, your soft skills matter a lot, a lot, a lot of a lot of times. I think the technical bit of it kind of scares people. Um, it's good to have a fundamental understanding, technical knowledge of networking and systems. Uh, However, it doesn't stop you from progressing from that knowledge into the cybersecurity space that doesn't require you to do anything with networking and systems. But because you have a good knowledge of it, it will help you in your role, especially if your role is non-technical within the cybersecurity space. Then you must be curious, pay attention to detail, because your curiosity will help you identify, oh, where is this coming from? You, you on your monitoring screen or tool, where is this alert coming from? You know where to look, and you look into that particular tool, whatever your organization has set up. You you are also curious to find out more about that, because it opens up. If you're curious, it opens up a lot of knowledge detail for you. So you must also be able to pay attention to that detail. And part of paying attention to the detail is identifying patterns in any sort of data that you have access to see. Maybe in the way users have been logging into the system, you're able to identify patterns in the logs and all of that. You must also be a good communicator. Um, there's you can hold on to information that would help the team, and because everyone needs to work together to be able to protect the systems. If if you're getting half information or you are given half information, how is the team going to succeed in protecting the organization? It's really going to be difficult. Then you must also have an ethical mindset. Um, one of the one of the things I always say to whenever I'm training, like I remind the colleagues in the room, especially if you're new, the fact that you've been exposed to some tools doesn't mean you need to go on BBC website or just go on any organization's website and you start to, you know, investigate or run a scan on their systems. That is unethical. In fact, if you're doing that, they will actually think it's an hacker that is trying to work on their network or create havoc on their network. And so that is covered. I think I went back up. So what are the common cybersecurity job titles that you can find? Top on the list is SOC analysis, and that is like the entry way into the industry to also for you to kind of learn how to monitor alerts, do the task, investigate incidents, and we have the security engineer. The engineer focuses on building secure systems. The engineer would deal with networks mostly, and the systems. Sorry about that. Then we have the security consult Apologies for that. We have the security consultant who provides expert advice, who is more of a security advocate and helps organization to put security practices in place. And we also have the penetration testers. We have the GRC analyst. All of these are the kind of roles that you would find um, within the cybersecurity space. The pen testers, I think they are really, really popular. They test systems for weaknesses. So before an application goes into penetration testing, um, it, it is scanned for vulnerability. Uh, so from those weaknesses that the penetration testers find, then they can start to perform their own tests um, for those weaknesses that they found because the hackers, they are ethical hackers, the penetration testers, that's just who they are. So they would do all of that and come back with a report of what has been found, what is critical, what needs to be fixed. And we have the vulnerability analysis here. That's what I was trying to explain just now. And we have the threat intelligence analyst. They are always, they do more of research and modeling of different kinds of threats that 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 could occur, and um, that the ways security practices or security tools or infrastructures can be put in place to prevent any form of potential attack. Yeah. And finally, into the SOC. So, what is a SOC? That's a Security Operations Center, and it is like it's like hospital's emergency department. That's what the first, when there's something really critical happening, like the first point of call um, for, well, in this case, any incident, all right, that's the emergency department. There's an incident, it goes straight to the SOC, okay? In the SOC team, I don't know if anyone here has watched the movie um 24, Jack Bauer. It was really popular then. I don't know if anyone was familiar with that. They they have this security operations center. So such that any form of incident happening, they can monitor all the systems in the organization. The the team of security analysts there at different levels of expertise. So they watch over the systems 24/7. And what are they looking for? They want to be able to detect any incident or any pattern or anything that looks off the normal expectation, and they also respond to attacks. And the roles are tiered. We have the tier one SOC analyst who, who is the frontline um, cybersecurity analyst. The tier one analyst monitors the alerts from tools that have been put in place. We have the security. Their major job is to identify any form of potential threat, um, that to identify any sort of alert that is a false positive, and also to escalate any real incident to the tier two. Uh, so the tier two analysts, they are the responders. They take those alerts that the tier one has passed on to them, and they do a deeper analysis. And the analysis they will be doing, they would be the one examining the logs, checking the data, identifying the scope of the incident, the scope and the impact of the incident. They're looking out for the root cause. Deep analysis, that's what they do. And they are able to, because they would have maybe more technical knowledge um, than the tier one SOC analyst, and they provide those technical recommendations. Um, they work with the other IT teams to ensure that the threats that they find or the threat that they found are mitigated. And we also have the tier three. So if you remember, I talked about the threat intelligence roles. I said they do a lot of research. So their own role is more proactive. What they are doing is to look for any hidden threats that have not triggered any sort of alert yet. They deep dive and do lots of threat intelligence analysis, and they create what they call advanced detection rules. So it's just like when you are applying some some alert rules or logic rules because you've been able to identify a particular pattern, or it's a threat that exists but has not been exploited, and you're able to write rules against them for the organization SOC to be able to determine or detect any um, any threat that could occur in the future. So they deal with um, advanced threats that has not been exploited. It be a threat that has happened, an advanced threat that has happened in a different organization. Of course, they will still look within their own organization if they have any weakness in the system, and that can likely be exploited by that threat. And of course, we have the SOC manager. Oh, that's the kind of role I love. You know, you just deal with the oversight and strategy. You just oversee what is happening within the entire SOC operations. I've worked closely with a SOC manager on a particular software project, and it really gave me the massive exposure into the security operations center. If you need to have that privileged access to be able to get into the security operations center. And the focus of a security analyst are usually in the protection, any system, every asset of the organization. And the SOC manager's role uh, is like the team captain, and he has to be the one to manage the resources, or who is a SOC level tier one. This SOC level tier one is also is vast enough, can now be a tier two SOC level analyst. Mo- Most of what we'll be doing on this training would actually um, cover all the four. So it's if you're coming from an IT background already, you could probably find yourself um, being a SOC manager uh, as long as you are able to defend your CV and you're able to um, take on the experience that you have here and work really, really hard and do your personal research and studying as well, and work closely with mentors who are in the field already, who can also show you and help you to grow into that role as in within the security operations. What does a day in the life of a SOC analyst, what does it look like? So most of the SOC analyst role are usually um, shift based. There are some that are just strictly 9 to 5. We have a lot of them out there, and you would because the role is a 24/7 role. The the ACAS will not tell you, hey, organization A, we are going to be attacking you Friday 9 p.m. They're always out there trying to do their even organized hacking. They know how to go about it. So that's why the SOC role requires 24/7 monitoring. You start your shift reviewing overnight alerts and of course remember someone ended that shift that you're starting. So there will be some handover during that time, especially if there's been an incident before you came in. You should know, so you know where you continue um, your your work. Um, so you come in, take your coffee, check the system for any unusual login or whatever that you can imagine that that could go on or happen as you've clocked in for your shift. Let's say you found while monitoring, you found a suspicious login from China. Sorry, I'm using China. Apologies to any Chinese on the road. So a suspicious login from China, it triggers an alert. And what do? You triage the incident. That is you doing your investigation. And one of the most important things you also want to do is also to check, okay, these alerts, are they real alerts or false positives? Okay, you confirm all of that. You identify the basic information that are required. Is there a pattern? At what time is this happening? You check the logs, you consult the playbooks, um, whatever information you're able to gather at that level, you do all of that. You do all of that, and then um, you escalate to the tier two SOC analyst who assist uh, to ensure that whatever alert has been triggered if whatever you've identified as a SOC level one, if it's that if it's happening only on one system, that you would have found that at the triage level, okay? How many system has it impacted, But of course, it will be fine that it has not even gone beyond a particular um, affected device or system. So the tier two analyst helps you with the containment. They do their deep um, checks, and they are able to provide um, all the technical support to ensure that it's not the incident is not spreading, or if the hacker is in already, is not there's no there's no now what's the word? There's a particular concept now, and I can't remember that. So their role is to ensure that that incident is not spreading across every other system in the network. That's just the simplest explanation I can give. And you continue to monitor because you've handed over to the tier two SOC analyst. You continue your shift. You've protected your data, and you're learning something, and you've learned something new. For that, there will always be I in the IT industry, whether you're in the cybersecurity or not, there will always be something new that you learn or pick up every day, because there's always the there's always a concept of or practice, or um some tool, that you learn. It's a learning environment as well for a SOC analyst. And of course, you can grow into the other levels. And after being a SOC, working within the SOC Security Operations Center, where can you go? Um, Even though as a SOC analyst, are you are foundationally grounded, you for your personal development, it's not expected that you just choose to stay there. But of course, I know someone who just says, you know what, SOC is my life. I just enjoy it. They decided to stay, but it depends on you. You can grow to become an incident response team lead, a forensic analyst. You can become an ethical hacker. You can become so as a SOC analyst, of course, by default, you technically belong to the blue team, because what you're doing is defensive operations, okay? And you can decide to go into governance, risk, and compliance. You can grow into that. This is also a very wide area within the security space. You can choose around the governance. They focus on policies, frameworks, the risk. Help the organization to identify what risk um, what risk is what risk is pending, what risk is showing up, um, the level of risk the organization can accept, the severity, and what should be outsourced, what risk should be outsourced, and all the management of every risk uh, description that you can find within the IT space. And compliance, they ensure that there's adherence to frameworks and standards. There are different frame standards out there, and yeah, in the You have GDPR, you have HIPAA, there are just there are lots of them out there. They ensure the organization are in compliance, and we we can round it up here tonight. But before we round it up, um, okay, I think I would have the knowledge check after. So yeah, we've talked about the IT security as the foundation that launches the cybersecurity and information security. Um, we have talked about cybersecurity as the protection of digital assets. Information security covers all types of data, um, whether digital or physical. And we went on to talk about the CIA triad. I called it the Holy Trinity of the security space: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And we talked about the SOC, Security Operations Center, common concepts in cybersecurity, threats, risk, vulnerabilities, the role of SOC analyst as a frontline defender in detecting um, incidents and responding to cybersecurity threats. We talked about the different tiers of the SOC analyst role: SOC analyst 1, SOC analyst 2, uh, SOC analyst 3, and we talked about the SOC manager. We also, um, yeah, we covered who would be, what kind of person is needed in the industry. Anyone with curiosity, who is ethical, and who is ready to learn. You're passionate about the security field. All right. So let's quickly do a recap, a knowledge check quiz. And I'm happy for you to either type in the chat. Let's see if we've been following and if we have really grasped what we have talked about tonight. So the first question: what's the main difference between cybersecurity and information security? You can put your response in the chat or you can unmute. Anyone?
Hi, sorry, I cannot. So, do we just respond?
Yeah, you can respond. You can respond. Yeah, or type in the chat. Yeah.
Oh,
What's the main difference between cybersecurity and information security? So I can read it out. Cybersecurity protects only physical
I'll say
data.
B.
Okay, cybersecurity focuses on digital threats, while information security protects data in all forms. Yes. Does everybody agree? Is there, is it okay? All right. Yeah, I want, please, okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Esther. Yeah, okay, let's move on to the second question. Yeah, okay, so that's it. So which of the following best represent the CIA triad?
I'll repeat again.
That will be B again. Do we all agree?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. But we
good.
can We can say that information security is the overall, like the father of all
Yes, it's a fact.
form of
Yes,
security. So it's
you're
the
right.
father of all form of security.
Yeah.
Cyber security emerged from information security.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Good. So we have the third question. In a SOC environment, what is typically the role of a tier one analyst? What's
C.
typically the role? What did you say?
C.
Yes.
Okay. Can I
Does
can I
everyone?
try?
Yeah. Does everyone agree? Yeah.
Okay. What was the answer given?
C.
B.
C.
Okay, was there anything you typed
No, I think,
that
okay, did
was
somebody
an
type in
option?
something? Yeah, C.
Somebody was saying B, C, I don't know.
No, the previous question, the first question was B. So you see, because they are the frontline security analysts, so their role is to monitor the system, monitor the same, and identify pick up on any alerts that they can see, and do their own investigative work and escalate to tier two. Tier two is the carries out a deeper investigation, and they do the containment. They work with other IT teams to do the containment. The tier two will be the one that would kind of send email to say to the relevant whoever in departments that this has happened. We've identified this, and we want everyone to be aware of this and this and this. So please, this is ongoing. We just want to make sure that we've had an incident. Yeah, let's look at the fourth question. I've got 5 questions here. So, which cybersecurity domain focuses on assigning and controlling user permissions? Yes, I talked about this. I think oh no, we're not going to find yet. I talked about this and I gave some examples. Which cybersecurity domain focuses on assigning and controlling user permissions? Who gets access to what? This is a CISSP question, guys. So anyone?
Can you repeat it, please? Can you repeat it?
Yeah. Which cybersecurity domain focuses on assigning and controlling user permissions? A, security operations. B, identity and access management. Software development security. Network
B, B,
security. B.
B.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Mm.
The correct answer is B. So, who can become a cybersecurity professional? I think this is pretty straightforward. Only those with a computer science degree, only people with 5 years, the 5+ years of IT experience, anyone curious, ethical, and willing to learn, only former hackers.
C, anyone curious?
Yeah, good. Yeah. So, what would you be learning in this internship? Because what I've done tonight is to engage us and you know launch us into what the next few weeks is going to look like. Speak to your curiosity and open your eyes to what is possible in this space. You will be learning you'll be doing a lot of learning and hands-on work at the same time. There's nothing, I'll tell you, there's nothing you won't be able to do. There's nothing you won't be able, the way we've structured the course, the cybersecurity course, is so easy to understand. You're not writing any code here. We don't write we don't write code. What you do mostly is practical. We'll go through knowledge checks. We'll go through um you actually doing the work yourself. You actually, you know, identifying what what is visible to you from the tasks that you're given. And I want our mentors are going to help you, in ensuring that you're using the right buzzwords, because that is really important. The everything fundamental that you need to know that would help you, even if you choose not to stay within the technical side, foundational technical bit of cybersecurity. You would be exposed to network fundamentals, um, switches, routers, servers. You would have hands-on experience, configuring a network, um, understand the incident response lifecycle. You will be exposed to working with SIM tools, and you get more understanding on threat intelligence. What should you be looking out for, even where a vulnerability has not been exploited? Security policies and compliance. We'll touch on that a little bit. That will be closer to the end of the course, because when you move on into the advanced team, most of the hands-on work you'll be doing will be around security policies, compliance, and all of that. You also work on vulnerability management. Uh, it's always a continuous learning. You will be setting up your labs, local labs on your lab. So make sure you have the right laptop that can help you do the work. But of course, I know that sometimes interns have the challenge of doing those installations of their system. So what you could get an external drive on Amazon, so that you can move your personal stuff into the drive, and you're able to work, get your lab set up on your laptop. And so the lab is where you do all the practical things that you would ideally do out there. And you would also, acquire a lot of skills, because you'll be having presentations. You'll be able to talk about what you're learning, the hands-on work you're doing. Every other week, DJ will be given, the tutors will be given you tasks to do. So they would request for your presentations. So you need to get ready with your presentations and to talk about what you're learning. You also need to, work closely with your team, because the Scrum Master in your team would most likely be giving you the information that you need as well. And the tools you'll be exposed to, these are just few among the many tools. Wireshark, you be taught how to use the tool, the functionalities and the tool, how they work, what they're used for, Nmap, a brief introduction to that. Yeah, you'll be able to run a vulnerability scan on a web application that is being built by the software team that you are in. You have exposure to MITRE framework, the same tool setup, Azure Sentinel, Defender, a little bit of that exposure to that, and other open source security tools. Within the UK, this is an information I picked up I think late last year. This is a salary range. These are the salary ranges for the different roles within the cybersecurity space. So and if you see this is a security operations analyst role, that's incident response analyst role. You can be a junior security operations analyst will probably be earning here, and the senior security SOC analyst will be at this level. And we have the incident response manager. You can be an analyst or a manager, or you can be a cyber threat intelligence analyst. It's just all different ranges. Of course, they are salaried and they are contract day rates that people get paid for to do this job. So these are the as high as you want to fly. I would say that the rest of that journey will be in your hands. Okay. Rome was not built in a day, but if you apply yourself to consistent learning and being in the community where you're growing and you're also able to work on your own personal development as well. So you can always get to where you want to be with it. And the roles are not limited to these. Okay, you could specialize in writing about or writing, being a thought leader, or writing articles or training in cybersecurity. You could specialize in that. It depends on which area you want to go into. So cybersecurity is not just a career for me. It's a mission, and a mission to ensure that we are building secure software in the industry. And I must say, you and I are needed in this field. And one of the things that I've seen that makes the industry to thrive so much is that everyone has come with diverse skill set, and it makes the security stronger. That security mindset makes it stronger. And your journey starts today. So please feel free to ask questions, stay curious, and get involved. Thank you for the night. Any questions?
Hi.
Consult those. We consult those body of knowledge. Okay,
Okay.
so that when you are reading preparing for your certification, you can relate. Okay, and you have access to the mentors and bodies. I would say 90% of the mentors in the cybersecurity team have written the exam.
Okay.
So you can always get experienced information from them on how they've prepared, what they've prepared with, So the CompTIA Security Plus exam,
Yes.
you can make a start with that. Let me just put it in here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Any other question? Then I can also recommend. I'll put that a link to an access. You can go in there to read up in your own spare time. I'll put the link in the cybersecurity guild. So it's it's called cyber, so you would be able to read up on cybersecurity and being a SOC analyst and every other information that you're trying to find out more, to read more on after all of what we've done tonight. There are loads of resources out there, but it's always good that you're not just all over the place. You're in a kind of structured learning environment where you can follow your learning and knowledge acquisition. Good. Any other question? Okay.